Hey everybody, today we are going to be discussing moving objects with tongs. And this is optimally designed for people that are between the ages of about 18 months to 6 years of age. And we will be looking at using this not just as an activity for the child, but to strengthen their pincher grip, which is the two fingers that you are going to use to hold a pencil. It will also help manage hand dominance questions. It's going to work with hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills. So for the youngest child, this is a basket with 6 pom-poms. These are wool pom-poms and tongs, and a little bucket for them to move the objects into. So the child would pick up and carefully place the objects in here. The youngest child is going to use 2 hands at first. These particular salad tongs are really good for this age because they are smaller than adult-sized tongs, and they do not have a flattened tip. Their tip is slightly curved and it has teeth, and this is great for gripping for the small child. The work is not done until the child returns it, although for a toddler that is not always going to be the case. We would call this making it ready for the next person. And now my work is ready for the next person. When the child mastered that, we could move up to a slightly more challenging work, where before we only had 6 as our maximum. This ice cube tray holds 14, and these tongs have an added point of interest that you must unlock them to get them to open. So the 3-year-old would find this extremely interesting. The tongs themselves are a little bit more challenging to use, as they don't have any assistance in gripping. These pom-poms are also slightly smaller than our previous pom-poms, and I have made the box small so the child will have to push the pom-poms into the box to keep them all in. I've given the child option for pattern by giving multiple colors that the child can put into whichever container they want. As the child progresses through that, this one would probably be our next bet. And this one is designed for the child to sort by color using small bamboo tongs. And I've given different shades for discrimination of color for the child. And the tongs are slightly curved upward, which makes it easier if the child turns them to face downward. But most kids don't do that. They tend to do them upward, and that provides an additional challenge. If they sort the wrong color, you don't correct them. You wait for them to notice, oh, and they'll move it. It takes a little while sometimes, but this is kind of lower 2.5, 3-year-old, 3.5, probably the oldest that would work with this particular work. And if we move on from there, this one is us moving onward to tweezers. And these tweezers are actually very challenging because they have a very, very pointy, fine tip. And we have moved the size down again to keep it small. And we have added 1 differing color out of our 6 spaces. And if I wanted to create pattern, I would be forced to move to the middle circle. That may or may not be a thing. It's just something that is there in case it intrigues the child and makes it so this holds their interest a little longer. The same container can be used for the child, and we can replace the pom-poms with rocks. I don't know that I would try to do this particular set of tweezers. I might try this one and move my rocks into position and out of position with just regular household tweezers. Another option would be pegs or little twigs that you've broken that the child could then sort into the boxes. You could place, for the older child who's learning to recognize their numbers, you could place little sticky, round sticky note pieces in the bottom that say 1, 2, 3, 4. Although the object of doing this is not to learn your numbers, it is to learn the process of picking up and moving and going back and doing that again. So in a few quick, easy thought processes here, we have sorted out the possibilities for moving the difficulty level upward as the child develops finer and finer motor skills. So what you will need for this is a basket or a tray, high-sided tray for the younger child, and you can have a low-sided tray for the older child. You will need a container to store your objects in. You will need something to sort into. You will need tongs or tweezers, and you can use objects like pom-poms or seeds or stones or twigs or whatever you think would be good with your child. Do be aware for the young child of a choking hazard and think about that. If you're thinking about pom-poms, there are a couple of options. There are available wool pom-poms that are really great in the kid's hand. It has like a little squeezy, squishy feeling to it, almost like it should squeak slightly. You have then your acrylic ones. These particular ones are kind of fun because if the child misses and they grab it, they can grab onto one of the little spikes sticking out. And then you can acquire a number of things that have varying sizes and colors. And then you have everything that you would need to change out the color by season or by whim. So this can be a creative outlet for you as well. When I created this, I took a shadow box from the local craft store and some balsa wood from the same place, and I cut the balsa wood in the correct length, glued it down with some wood glue, and then glued down little squares of felt in the colors that I wanted for the project. Beyond just having something for your child to do, outthinking your child and keeping it age appropriate is a fun game for your own mind. Thanks for watching today. Please leave your comments below. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know how it went for you, any questions you might have, any interesting ideas for materials that you want to leave. That would be great. I can't wait to do another work with you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.